All right, let's talk about a game that, on paper, should not have been close, but it turned into an absolute thriller. This wasn't just about getting a win. For the Golden State Warriors, this was a real test of who they are without their main guy, their superstar. And that's really the big question, isn't it? How do you win a squeaker when the guy you always give the ball to in the final seconds isn't even in the building? For the Warriors, that person is Steph Curry. So with him out, they had to dig deep and find another way to win, on their home court, against a team everyone had counted out. So, first things first, the Warriors start strong. You gotta picture the scene, right? They're in San Francisco, the playoff race is getting super tight, and their leader is on the sidelines. The pressure is absolutely on. And get this was their 24th straight game without him. 24. That is a massive stretch to play without your best player. And at this point in the season, every single game feels like do or die. So yeah, they needed to come out punching. And they did. A 13-point lead right after the first quarter. For a minute there, you're thinking, okay, this is going to be an easy night. They were just clicking, playing with a ton of energy, and it looked good. And a huge reason for that fast start was Kristaps Porzingis. The big fella was on fire. He wasn't just scoring, he was dropping dimes too. 8 assists. But it was his 2 early threes that really got the whole team going and built up that early cushion. But just when you're getting comfortable, thinking this thing is over, the whole script gets flipped. Because the Washington Wizards, a team with only 17 wins the entire season, decided, nope, not tonight. They weren't going anywhere. You really have to get the dynamic here. The Warriors are playing with all this pressure, fighting for their playoff lives. The Wizards, they're basically playing with house money. They just snapped a huge losing streak and have absolutely nothing to lose. And let me tell you, a team with nothing to lose can be incredibly dangerous. And leading that Wizards charge was this trio of young guys just playing out of their minds. You had the rookie, Will Riley, doing a little bit of everything. Then Coulibaly and Carrington were just pouring in points. These guys were not intimidated at all. They looked like they wanted to steal this game. And that brings us to the fourth quarter. This is where a pretty comfortable lead just completely evaporated, and the game turned into an absolute nail-biter. Everything, and I mean everything, changed right here. Just look at that. With 6.5 minutes to go, it's the Wizards who are now in the lead. That dominant first quarter from the Warriors, it felt like a lifetime ago. You could just feel the tension in that arena start to skyrocket. So now we are officially in clutch time. Those last few minutes where games are won or lost. This is normally Curry time. This is when number 30 takes over, but he's not there. So who's going to be the hero? And in that moment, when they needed it most, a few guys put their hands up and answered the call. This wasn't about one hero coming to the rescue. It was about a whole group of guys refusing to let this thing slip away. Porzingis, he kept that energy going all night long. Then you had Brandin Podziemski, who was just everywhere, hustling, grabbing boards, nearly getting a triple-double. And then there was Gui Santos, who was about to have his moment in the spotlight. Now, this guy was just coming off a career-high game, and he proved tonight that it was absolutely not a fluke. When the game was on the line, he was clutch, just completely fearless. Okay, you have to hear how this ended. It was madness. Riley hits this huge three-pointer. Suddenly, it's a three-point game. The Warriors inbound to Santos. He gets fouled. He goes to the free throw line with all the pressure in the world on his shoulders, and swish, sinks them both. Then, for the grand finale, Podziemski just jumps the passing lane, steals the inbounds pass, and that's the ball game. Game! Sealed! Just an unbelievable display of poise when they had to have it. What a finish! So, after all that drama, what does a win like this actually mean? Because it really felt like it was about so much more than just moving up one spot in the standings. This felt different. Let's break it down. The final was 131-126. The win gives them a 3-game winning streak, which they hadn't done in almost 2 months. But the real story, the big takeaway here, is that they proved to themselves and everyone else that they can win a tough, close, clutch game without their closer. That's huge for their confidence. And that kind of leaves us with this final thought to chew on. We all know what the Warriors are with Steph Curry on the floor. But now that we're seeing other guys like Gui Santos step up in the biggest moments, does that make this team even more dangerous than we thought? Maybe they have more ways to win a thriller than we ever gave them credit for. And that's something the rest of the league is definitely going to be thinking about.